What is up, everybody? Jay Nell here with a quick turnaround on my from me to you. And real quick, I'm just gonna get my little 2 cents here about the Oscar scandal, and because I really haven't heard my point of view represented, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there myself. Just real quick, I just really think it's funny that all this happened while Will Smith was in Europe. He comes back to the States and just gets hit with your wife, your wife, your wife. What are you gonna do? I just think it's hilarious. Anyway, so he gave an interview on Good Morning America, and he actually kind of touched on my point of view for a second. I didn't watch the entire interview, so I don't know if he elaborated or not, but just real quick. So he said, so the Oscars are supposed to be a reflection of Hollywood, and Hollywood is supposed to be a reflection of the United States. And this just basically highlights some of the issues that we are still seeing in our country today. And I agree. You have to remember, the entertainment industry is an industry. The Oscars is represents the highest level of that industry. And with any industry in the United States, the higher you go, the whiter it gets. The more male it gets. And normally, the older it gets. The tech industry is kind of busting that a little bit. Also, there's a lot of Asians and stuff in the tech industry as well. Also, you have like the hair industry, the black hair industry is pretty big, and a lot of the products and stuff and the shows and stuff are it's a little bit different. Although most of the beauty supply stores and things aren't owned by black people. Anyway, either way, so there are a couple of industries that are exceptions, but for the most part, in pretty much all industries, finance, education, military, law enforcement, whatever, the higher up you get, the more wider, the more male, and the older it gets. Same is true for the Academy Awards. The Academy is 94% white. It's mostly male, and most of those males are over the age of 50. And these are the people that we are depending on to give awards to projects that reflect America in 2016. It's probably not going to happen. Kind of the way our government doesn't really reflect. Speaking of another industry, politics. Politics, the higher up you get, gets real white, real male, real old. Okay, and now real rich. Apparently, you got to have money to run for politics now. But anyway, back to the Oscars. So what we are seeing here is what we see in every other industry. It's the same. So my problem is, for some reason, Black folks are reacting to it differently. We come across this in every industry. Same thing with being a woman. There's only been one female director nominated, by the way. So when a Black person or a woman says trying to make a partner in their law firm and they know they deserve it, they are deserving of it. The woman's already had her kids. She's got plenty of nannies. She ain't got to worry about maternity leave or anything like that. Because I actually kind of side with the guys. You got to be able to put in the same amount of time. Anyway, so when a woman or a person of color is trying to get in that upper echelon of that law firm or that finance company, and they get passed over for something that they know they deserved, they know, in this case, yeah, system may not have broke my way. Couldn't get into that white boys club today. And what do? You get mad for a quick second because that's money missed. That's opportunities missed, opportunities and money that you earned. Of course you get upset about that. But you regroup, you figure out another way, you change your tactics, or you find your own way and you move on. This is how we handle it in every other industry. But for some reason, when it comes to entertainment, it changes. We react a little bit differently. Suddenly, we take it as a comment on who we are and our work when it shouldn't be. Winning an Oscar is a business opportunity, and that's it, especially if for the urban communities of color, even the LGBT communities. It's a business opportunity, and that's it. When they voted for 12 Years a Slave for all those awards it won, 40% of the Academy admitted that they hadn't even watched the movie, that they just voted for it because they felt like it should win. So what does that tell you? If they're not even watching the art, how in the world can it be a comment on it, or validation, or verification, anything, if they're not even consuming it? You see? So you got all these Black folks getting upset. Acknowledge me, please notice me, please like me, massa. Miss me with that. You missed out on a business opportunity that you deserved. Get mad about that. You can get mad about that. But then you regroup, you change your tactics or whatever, you find a way, you make your own way, and you move on. That's exactly how we need to treat the Oscars and the Grammys. It is it's the upper echelon of the entertainment industry, which means it's going to be mostly white, male, and old. And probably going to pass a couple of folks that look like me up just because the system didn't break our way. You find another way. You change up your tactics and you move on. You cannot internalize it as a comment on who you are or your work, especially when the people don't even consume it. It's foolishness. White folks are different. I told you who the Academy are, so I mean they're probably watching some of those movies. So if they want to take it as a comment on their artwork, sure, and a business opportunity because it's both for them too, sure. Anyone who wins an Oscar makes more money. You get that, your clout raises. You have more opportunities. You have more resources. You can get mad for getting snubbed about that, but then you change up and you move on. You never get upset because someone didn't tell you that your art wasn't good enough, especially someone who probably didn't watch your art in the first place. So that's my issue. I have an issue on why we seem to be upset about this. And just real quick, those who say, well, why, if the black person wasn't good enough, then they didn't deserve the award. First up, you're right. I love Michael B. Arthur, but I didn't think he should have been nominated for Creed. However, I do think that, and I can't remember his name, the name escapes me, but the director of Straight Outta Compton should have been nominated for Best Director. I personally feel that. I think he was snubbed. And so if he wants to get mad because he missed out on that Oscar money, sure, get mad, move on. You're a brilliant director. Make your own way, move on. We know you're brilliant. But we're mad you missed that money too. Because in my community, we're disproportionately poor. So whenever a member of my community can make more money, if even a quarter of them can pass that back and help the community, I'm all for it. So again, it's okay for us to get mad that a member of community who deserved it didn't get that money, that Oscar money. But that's it. Be mad that we missed the money. And then we move on. It's not a comment on who we are. They don't care. They don't watch it. Now, talk about the BET Awards and stuff like that, where you have your own awards show. Well, first off, those are niche programming, niche awards shows. Let's not act like black folks are the only one that have them. What do you think Telemundo and the Latin Grammys are? What do you think that We TV or whatever that woman's station and the LGB station, the Lagos or whatever, and G4, the video game station, and all the other stations are white. But let's not act like black folks are the only one who have niche TV programming and awards show. The BET Awards give awards to art forms and things that are typically in the urban community. And when a white person excels in that realm, we give them an award too. Ask Justin Timberlake, Sam Smith, Eminem, and the list goes on and on. Channing Tatum might even have a BET Award. So the Oscars says that it's not a niche TV awards show. It's supposed to be for everyone, by their own standards. So we are calling them out on their own thing here. That's why people are upset about the Oscars and the Grammys. It's not supposed to be a niche awards show. Now, you want to talk about same thing. You want to talk about Black History Month. I've heard that you'll get rid of Black History Month. Why don't we have a White History Month? You do. I've had this conversation many times. I was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. I've actually gone back and forth with white folks on this on many occasions. I'm going to present this question to you guys too because I need to know, why don't you guys rep your set? You want to say, how come there's not a White History Month? There is. You guys have the luxury of knowing who you are. You know that you're Irish American or that you're Dutch or that you're German or this, your great-great-grandmother came from here. If you wanted to figure out exactly who you were and what to celebrate, you could. The food, the language, the customs, the music. We can't. And by we, I mean black folks who are descendants of slaves like I am. The technology hasn't been created yet. I have plenty of black friends who've done the DNA testing. One of them just came back and said he was part from the Congo and the other part from sub-Saharan African region. Do you know how big that region is? And do you know each tribe had a different language, had different customs, had different clothes, looked differently? You know how many different elements of people are in the sub-Saharan area of Africa? That doesn't tell him anything about who he is. Same thing with me. He'll tell me the area of Africa. It doesn't tell me who my people were, what my culture was, what I can grab onto. That's one of the issues. I'll do a video one day about like some of the things with the black community. One of the issues that we have is that we don't have anything to coalesce around. We don't have an actual culture. In case you went to a school in like Texas or something and they had the history whitewashed, let me just tell you, when the slaves were brought here, they had their culture beaten out of them, literally stripped, their names, their language, the foods, the everything, beaten out of them, stripped out of them, and then Christianity basically shoved down their throats. That's why the black community is so rooted in the church. So I couldn't tell you what my culture was, even if I tried. That I don't know, and I will probably never know. Hopefully the technology will be made in my lifetime, but it may not. So if you want to know why it's called Black History Month, it's because what else are we supposed to call it? Africa Month? Your average black person doesn't feel African. And what is that? Africa is Egypt. Africa is South Africa. Africa is Nigeria. Africa. What is that? What is that? African. I'm black. I'm American. That's it. And I call myself black because I have nothing else to call myself. So what I ask white folks is, why don't you guys know who you are? Why would you want to represent just white if you can actually represent who you are? I always bring up the Irish because they rep who they are. Irish American or Irish this. Australians are good with it too. They rep who they are. Englishmen rep who they are. And I'm talking about Irish people who are like born in Boston and families been here for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? Like, they rep who they are. You know who you are. Why would you just want to represent yourself as a white person? Now, if you say, well, I've never been to Ireland or Australia. I've been born and raised here. I don't know nothing of that culture. I'm proud to be an American. So, okay, fine. There's nothing wrong with being patriotic. No one's going to call you racist for saying you're proud to be American. USA. We all do it at every game. There's nothing. So celebrate that. Celebrate that. Y'all seem to have a thing with wanting to say like white pride specifically. And my thing is, why? Why would you want to say I'm proud to be white or white pride when you can do better? You can say I'm proud to be an American, like I can. But you can also say I'm proud of my Irish heritage or my Australian heritage. I'm proud of the foods my great-great-grandmother made and the language we spoke. I know words. I don't have that option. Do you understand that? It's called Black History Month because we don't know what else to call it. Do you understand that? There's Irish Heritage Month and Scottish this and Polish Day and Australia Week. You just look it up. You can celebrate yourself. You just look it up. No one's going to call you, when you have a sign that says white pride, someone's going to call you racist. And it's not our fault. There's a bunch of older white folks who used to wear sheets and who were really violent. They ruined that term for you. Okay? But if you hold up a sign that says Irish pride or Scottish pride, no one's going to call you racist. Italians are real good with that. They rep their hood. That's because a lot of them don't feel white. But Italians are real big with that. Italian Americans who've never been to Italy, they got no problem calling themselves Italian. So I just don't get that. Why you're mad about something you don't have to be mad about? You guys get to call yourself black when we can't rep being white. That's because you can do better. We don't have a choice. So why? Why would you choose to just say you're one thing when you know where you come from? I don't get it. I guess I envy you because I don't have that option. I don't know. Anyway, so let me just know what you think about that. I know I covered a lot of stuff there about the Grammys. Like I said, I do think there's a reason for us to get upset. Whenever you get money passed over, whenever you miss money, you can get mad. I still can't remember his name. The director of the Straight Outta Compton, he missed some money. He could be mad about that. But then you change up your tactics and you move on. Don't ever look at the Oscars for validation of your artwork if you're a person of color, because they don't even consume it. So let me know what you think about that. What I said about the niche television programming, how for some reason it's a problem when we have niche television programming, when you have Telemundo and everything else. Let me know about that. Let me know what you think about what I said about the last part too, especially white folks out there who are always saying, why can't I say, white pride and this, all that kind of stuff? Why would you want to when you can do better? I don't think you guys think about it that way. I don't really think you guys realize that most black people who are descendants of slaves like myself, we don't have anything else to say. We don't know where we come from. So we have to claim America. This has to be our homeland. Us and the natives. They got to share. All right. So let me know what you think about all of that. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe, like, talk to me. Take care. And goodbye.